Let's take a tour of my van, but this time the smaller one. This time on Hack 5. Sitting here sipping on my cappuccino, I figured I'd tell you a little bit about this place. This is Fritz Fortress Campground in North Texas. It's just north of Amarillo. And it is one of the best free campsites I have ever been to. The spots are beautiful, very clean, but it has free hot showers. And now on to the next great adventure. By the way, the mullet, yeah, we're gonna take care of that today. There was supposed to be a bunch of B-roll between the last clip and this clip of me driving all the way up from Texas to Colorado. I'm now in Colorado and you didn't see that B-roll. I'm gonna chalk that up to a glitch in the Matrix. Glitch, hi. And it's not like I just didn't do my job or something like that. Anywho, time for a haircut. One glaring continuity error later and no more mullet. Definitely feels lighter and should be a bit cooler with this massive heat wave going up on Washington. Time to go get some fuel and hit the road. Hey everyone, Glytch here and welcome back to Hack 5. Today we're going to be taking a look at my van, my other van. If you remember the last video where I actually went and toured the Sprinter, I no longer have the Sprinter. It was pretty nice, but it was just big. I didn't like the way it got blown around on the highways. I didn't like the fuel economy. I didn't like the really rather insane maintenance bills that came with that thing. But, I mean, the extra space was nice. However, now with lockdowns coming to a close and the ability to go hang out with friends and go to restaurants and, get out of the van more, I don't feel I need as big of a space. So I wanted to slim down a bit as I usually do and go with something a bit more efficient and just a bit more me. And by a bit more me, I mean the 2013 Transit Connect. This thing has the same engine my first car did. Well, very similar engine. This is the Duratec. My first car was a Ford Escort ZX2. And it had the Z-Tech 2.0 liter. For all intents and purposes, they're the same engine. This one's just a little more modern. So I know it inside and out, so when something breaks, I can fix it. And something will break. It's got about 180,000 miles at this point. I've put about 15 of that on in just the last few months alone. As you can see, there's a massive roof rack with a light bar on the top. And I built that myself. Just welding, grinding, all that jazz. The light bar could use a bit of a wash. It's a bit of a bug magnet as it works as an air dam. Up there is 300 watts of solar panels. And those charge the battery. It's kind of a mess in here. I really need to clean this up. But I'm going to end up adding a second battery here, but I'm using a Renogy power system. And right there is the heart of it all. That is the combination 50 amp DC to DC converter and solar charge controller. So that will actually take power from the alternator as well and feed it into the battery. So I get charge while driving too. Now I have also just recently added a 40 amp charger. And that is connected to this guy. So I have shore power as well. And that 40 amp charger will run all my loads while still charging the battery. Even the Zero Breeze air conditioner. Now, I just recently installed that while I was down in Texas where it is hot, and I'm very grateful for it. It is a little on the undersized side for the van, but if I just got done with a drive, all I have to do is open this curtain, turn the AC on full blast, and it will chill the rest of the van down. And then the Zero Breeze is plenty to keep it fully at the proper temperature, even with it being 100 degrees out. It's awesome. In here, I also have my 2 5-gallon water jugs. That provides water for the inset sink. And that just goes to a gray water drain that you can put a bucket under if you're in the kind of place that you can't just dump your gray water. But most places, it's legal and perfectly acceptable to just let your gray water dump. Now, just like the Sprinter, I have a cassette toilet and I have a mini fridge. And those get bungeed in for driving. Now, you might be wondering, there's a bench in here, but I don't see a bed. Haha, the bench is a bed, as long as I don't let my bag drop. And there you go. It is actually a bigger bed than what was in the Sprinter. I can sleep fully extended on this with no issues. And that is just riding on some 500-pound drawer slides. I built this whole mechanism out, and I'm really quite happy with how it works. It's kind of inspired by the Westfalia vans. Now, a bit of a tour on the inside. Just like the Sprinter, I have a shelf up here. That's where I keep most of my food and my clothes and other such things. There's a little bit more food and just spices and stuff along this shelf. And up here I have my butane stove. Works great. I don't even have an inverter in this van because I don't need one to run microwave or anything like that. Here you can see the outlet vent of the air conditioner. Over here is where I would normally have my 3D printer and all my maker storage bits. And I actually need to face this cabinet still. However, I'm currently on a trip to go pick up the last few of my things out of storage, so I needed all the space I can get. I left my maker stuff down in at a friend's place in Texas. And I've got 12-volt power routed over there. You can see my USB-C charger I use for my laptop. I actually have a little leaf back in here, I'm not going to get it out right now, that goes in, and it makes for a really great desk. I also have a fantastic roof fan and the battery meter. The cab, there's nothing too special going on in here. I would like to swap that seat out because that is a 180,000 mile seat and the foam is pretty collapsed in it. Oh, I guess there is something special. I have my Android Auto, still not yet completed, DIY head unit I made using a Raspberry Pi. And this thing is awesome. It needs a few more tricks to make it perfect. And I also need to route the USB cable so I can actually mount this properly. But combined with a subwoofer under my seat, this thing just kicks. I'm really happy with it. The speaker systems in cargo vans usually aren't great, so to have something that I can listen to audiobooks and so on when I'm doing these long drives, it's awesome. This aluminum here was here when I got the van, and that basically just protects the windows. Now I have taken it off and I've put insulation in there, but I would have preferred to get a windowless version just because glass lets heat in, glass is a security issue, and glass is heavy. I mean, these windows are about 15 pounds heavier each than just having the equivalent sheet metal in place. So I mentioned the weight because this thing's a little on the underpowered side when you're on the highway. But going around town, it is great fun. It handles just like a Ford Focus, except with a little more weight in the back, because that's what it is. This whole thing's built on a Ford Focus chassis, believe it or not. Now these wheels are, well, you can see I have a mismatched lug nut. I should replace that. I actually have General Grabber AT wheels and tires. I think I'm going to go down a sidewall size, mainly because these rub at full lock, and I can probably get a little more efficiency and go back a little closer to stock gearing when I'm on the highway with the smaller tires, and they'll be less squishy. And I think that about does it. That was my 2010 Transit Connect I call Nugget. It is a fun little ride, and it's so much more efficient and just more fun to drive than the Sprinter was. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more adventures in the Nugget Mobile. I've been Glytch. This has been Hack 5. That's been Nugget. Glitch out.
Thanks for supporting Hack 5. Find all our shows, community, and pen test products at hack5.org.